Hi, this is Datila, and welcome to TNAIW GoGo Power Rankings show. As always, I'm joined by my two wonderful co-hosts. First, to my right, he's the fifth rascal and one fifth of the tag team champions. He puts the Burt and Sherbert, and he's the star of the show, no matter what show he's on. The one and only Burt Macklin.
It's a great intro. Almost brought me to tears.
Say his name and he appears.
appears.
I believe in Burt Macklin.
Macklin.
That's awesome.
See, you got a fucking theme song. I don't even have a theme song.
But you have several nicknames.
That's also fair.
I don't even have anything. Because nobody introduces me, so I don't even have a nickname. I'm just the host.
Hey! Crack sells itself, okay?
And to my left, he is the godfather of the power rankings. He's the DNA of LL3 and A. He puts the Lucha and Luchasaurus, the Lucha and Lucha Underground, the brother and Lucha Brothers. Lucha.
And based off of the busy ass week I had at work here, I actually put the sore in Luchasaurus.
That's funny.
Hey, everybody.
All right. So we had another incredible episode of Impact Wrestling. And I cannot wait to see who made this top 10. I honestly think Tasha Steelz made the top 10. I mean, she did get a victory over one half of the tag team champions. I think Josh Alexander made the top 10. Burt, who do you think made the top 10?
Well, I would hope to see our world champion, Alex Shelley, in the Motor City Machine Guns, even though he was violently attacked during that match. But he was in a suit, and he is a heel, and he is a world champion, so that always scores a lot of points for me.
I'm telling you, I gotta get this cable package that Burt has where he just be seeing some crazy shit.
It's the spray paint. His eyes are so full with spray paint, he doesn't see it.
You got spray paint on your cable box, bro?
That's funny.
He just got a green bee on his fucking cable box.
Or it could also be the fumes. You know, the fumes get to him. They cloud his judgment, his vision.
That could be true.
Hey, my judgment is cloudy as fuck right now.
Yes. What about you, Lucha? Who do you think to see on this week's power ranking?
Honestly, I don't know. It's not necessarily about who I expect to see on. I just want to see how where Tasha Steelz is gonna rank at. And with a little bonus thing, if we're already in the neighborhood or the season of putting Deanna and Tasha together, if we're there yet. So maybe you know what I'm saying, Tasha started this tag team run off right by holding whatever they call themselves down and getting them, some love on the rankings. So that'll be interesting for me to see.
I agree. I want to know if they were voted together.
I think the committee was feeling that, and I think just because they've had two hits at it already, so I would think that this next week we'd get some form of them announcing they're going after the titles for Bound for Glory.
What do we call them, though? Like, what's their team name?
That is a good question. We need a team name for Deonna Purrazzo and Tasha Steelz.
Well, I swung and missed at All Night Draw with Sammy and Rich, so I'm gonna go in the lab and see if I can think of something that'll also get ignored.
With that being said, let's play the power rankings. Number 10, the DMC Tommy Dreamer. Number 9, Tag Team Champions MK Ultra. Number 8, Jake Something. Number 7, the Most Professional Wrestling Gods. Number 6, Deonna Purrazzo and Tasha Steelz. Number 5, Tag Team Champions The Rascals. Number 4, number 1 contenders ABC. Number 3, World Champion Trinity. Number 2, the walking weapon, Josh Alexander. Number 1, Motor City Machine Guns.
Fuck is this nigga always ranked?
Who are you mad at, Lucha?
I swear, like, Tommy Dreamer's been ranked more as a DMC than Joe Hendry has.
Yeah.
GD.
All right. Well, let's kick things off with number 10. So, funny thing, we actually had 2 ties during this. We had 2 ties for number 10, and it was Tommy Dreamer and his number 1 contender, Crazy Steve, that tied for the 10th spot.
Who was 11?
Who was 11? Let me see. So, it would have been Jordan Grace. It would have been Jordan Grace. And then and then it would have been tied between Mickey James, Rhino, and John Schuyler.
How the fuck did Tommy Dreamer beat out Jordan Grace? So, okay. So the only person from that 5-on-5 that got ranked, slight spoiler for those who didn't watch the countdown video. Like, what are you doing? So Jake Something's the only person from that 5-on-5 that deserved to get ranked.
Well, he did get the pin.
So you just said that there's 2 people who tied for 10 who talked. Tommy Dreamer got stabbed with a fork. Crazy Steve treated Tommy Dreamer like he was a meatball. And Tommy Dreamer gets number 10 for it. I hate it.
So you're saying Crazy Steve should have been on the number 10 spot since they tied?
I'm saying Jordan Grace should have jumped both.
So, but you only got 6 points.
Crime.
As much as I hate to say it, Tommy Dreamer has gold, so he deserves this spot.
I mean, yeah, but he was a meatball.
That's true.
I'm surprised the committee did not reward Crazy Steve for stabbing Tommy Dreamer. You know how the committee likes to reward violence.
Yeah, this is a very morally corrupt committee. You know what I'm saying? I'm surprised Steve in the top 5. I mean, Steve Macklin got number 1 and he just stalked the dude.
Yeah, I remember that. Alrighty, so now let's move on to our next tie. Actually, Jake Something and the MK Ultra tied with 18 points each, coming in at numbers 9 and 8 respectively. Should Jake Something be ahead of our Knockouts Tag Team Champions?
Maybe this week you could argue no, just because didn't Killer Kelly lose to Tasha? And Jake Something got a pin, and we just talked about how Jake Something got the pin, and he's on the list, and Jordan Grace isn't, who was in the match on the same team. So, and then whenever I see Lucha agreeing with me, I'm like, okay, maybe I'm onto something. So, yes, I think that Jake Something deserves to be ahead of them this week.
Yeah, definitely. He secured the victory for his team, and unfortunately, for the tag team champions, they did lose their singles match. So
yeah, Burt basically said it all. You know what I'm saying? I see you over there, Burt. I like, you know what I'm saying? It's your brain is braining up here. You starting to think like the Godfather.
The smoke is starting to clear.
Or be more apparent. It's me. Come on. And it's crazy. It's interesting the dynamic we're looking at. Not only is there heat between MK Ultra and Deanna and Tasha, saying as far as belts is on the line, but we got bragging rights too. We got Masha looking at Kelly is like, bro, you're making us look bad. And look at what that one win did for Tasha and Deanna. That put them basically on the map as a tag team within the power rankings. They damn near top 5 off that one big win. And the trend of Knockouts tag champions taking non-title losses is back.
I don't like that, honestly.
They don't take these shit seriously. It's like, bro, yeah, we can lose this non-title match. Like, we'll give him a title shot, but then that's when we turn the Jets on. You know what I'm saying? But you can't trust that too much. You gotta put yourselves in good positions, and taking non-title losses willy-nilly, whether they're tag or solo or whatever, it's kind of unnecessary. It does way more harm than good.
All right. So here's another interesting one. Deonna Purrazzo and Tasha Steelz actually beat the Most Professional Wrestling Gods by 8 points. They had 28 points, and the Most Professional Wrestling Gods only had 20 points. So, why do you think that is? Like, what is it that Deonna and Tasha did that gave them so many more points ahead? Is it because Tasha beat one half of the tag team champions and Moose beat Bhupinder Gujar?
Yeah, it's basically a strength of schedule thing. Moose beat Sheik freaking Rollins, which, I mean, you know, all blessings to him. He's not half of any sort of champions, so, you know, a win over him, if you trying to stack it up against other people for positioning, ain't gonna do you too much. It's like Moose beating Bhupinder was like Ohio State beating fucking Morehead State.
Who's Morehead State?
I was gonna say Sam Houston State.
Honestly, it took everything into me to not like say Syracuse, because Syracuse football doesn't really, you know what I'm saying. But that's where Moose played, so I didn't want to, like, you know what I'm saying, big him up. I didn't want to like kick him while he's down. I'm already saying his win didn't mean shit. I didn't want to like dump on his school too. That's big bro. He kicked my ass.
I'm so lost at all these college football references. All right. Well, here's an interesting. The Rascals, Burt, your people, coming in at number 5, where their number 1 contenders, ABC, just right ahead of them at number 4. I think it's because of that fans' revenge match.
Yeah, definitely. I think that was like, I'm not saying it was the best match of the night, but just because it was a spectacle, you know what I mean? And then I just think they cut a promo backstage. They had, and all the Rascals really did was spray paint their titles. So even though they are the champions, you know, like when you say like, yeah, they're the champions, they should be ahead of them, but their number 1 contenders got to win tonight. So that, I think that for tonight they should be ahead of them. So
how does that make you feel? Oh, you're okay with it?
Yeah, I'm fine with it. They won a match and they are number 1 contenders. So, like I said, we just thought I think the theme of the night is pins. So, getting wins.
What about you, Lucha?
See, you talking about wins. The only thing that really matters between the Rascals and ABC's positioning is one thing, and that's the straps and who's meant more this week. And even though it wasn't necessarily ABC's straps that were being used, belts were in their favor in that fans' revenge match because John Skyler got a good old whipping. So it's just all about belts between those two and whose usage of belts meant more this week. And like you said, all the Rascals did was spray painted.
I may add, I felt bad for John Skyler. I felt really bad for him. I mean, wow, he took the brunt of that whipping.
See, I do feel bad for John Skyler, but on the other hand, I don't, because I reached out to that man on Twitter on 2 occasions with some advice. The first one, you know, probably wasn't going to do him too much good, and that was to train me in a matter of 9 hours. And you know what I'm saying, I'll be his partner. Or he should have went to one of the older fans' revenge matches and got one of them fans to come be his partner, so he got somebody with experience in this game. You know, say you saw how Ace and Bay they had the fans kind of in their pocket. They were chilling because they know they spoke fan. You had to get someone that also speaks fan.
Who doesn't like Bullet Club though? Who doesn't like ABC?
That's fair.
Yeah. All right, Trinity coming in at number 3, but look who's just ahead of her, the walking weapon, Josh Alexander, who is number 1 contender for Alex Shelley. And yes, Josh Alexander was in the main event defeating Big Khan, but then he got laid out by Alex Shelley. How do you feel about that, Lucha?
Okay, so I'm gonna go a lot of ways here. First with Trinity, let me throw a question to the classroom here. How does it look that the number 1 contender for the world title, Josh Alexander, is not only ranked but number 2, right? Mickie James is the number 1 contender for the Knockouts title. She's not even on the top 10. I don't think she was even top 12. So it's like, should Trinity shouldn't look at this and take and go light on Mickie, because you know what I'm saying, that's a good way to set yourself up. So it's crazy that Mickey's nowhere to be seen, but yet Shelley's opponent, number 1 contender Josh, he's right here at number 2. Not only because he got the win on Khan, and I'm pretty sure that was the main events kind of things.
It was a main event.
Yeah, so, and then not only that, Josh has been kind of hot since coming back and since being on this whole journey. Again, like I said last week, Mickie James hasn't had a singles match since 1962. So, like, it's crazy.
And so, wait, what was your question, though? Do you think Josh should be ahead of her?
No. Do you think that Mickey's being overlooked by both Trinity and the committee by being nowhere near the top 10, 11, 12, 13? Where did Mickie place, if anywhere?
Let me see. Hold on. She did place. Okay, so remember there was that 2-way tie for 10. And then 11 would have been Jordan Grace. And then a 3-way tie for 12 with Savannah Evans. With Mickie James, Rhino, and John Schuyler. And then Savannah Evans in the design tied as well. So she was like
tied with a dude
12.
that got whipped. Yeah. No momentum.
I think the reason that Mickie James isn't ranked is because while a lot of people will win a bunch of matches to become a one contender, Mickie James just kind of came back from injury, had a match, and just kind of announced that she wants what she never lost. So I think she has no momentum right now.
Josh Alexander did the exact same thing.
Did you show him the paper?
No. I'm saying that she hasn't been on the show enough to be on the rankings. That's what I was saying. Because she came back, she had the multi-person match, and then she said that she declared her match for Bound for Glory. So I'm saying she's really only been on TV twice, and since she wasn't on this week. So I think Josh Alexander deserves to be on TV this week, and she who would you take off the top 10 this week?
The Meatball.
That's fine. Yeah. I was thinking the same thing. So, yeah. But I'm just saying she hasn't been on TV enough to where I think, especially this week, you could really take a lot of people off. Tommy Dreamer is the one I would agree with you.
So do you think that the committee doesn't... The committee is basically throwing salt on, Mickie doesn't have momentum, and the committee is just kind of throwing salt in that wound that she doesn't by just completely...
No, because I think that she's going to be on TV the next couple weeks. So
she's only got 2 weeks.
I expect to see her in the top 10 these next 2 weeks.
And she's only got 2. And then it's BFG time, and you know how those get. She's gotta win at BFG. She's gotta.
If she doesn't win at BFG, I could see her maybe getting forcing another title match. You know what I mean? Where she cheats to win and goes full heel. Because I think a heel Mickey James one final run would be really awesome.
I always like the power rankings after pay-per-views or specials because they're always so wonky.
It's that damn combination of the go home and the pay-per-view that can just, you know what I'm saying, that can, because like say Mickey's in the main of the go home and she gets a dub, but then she loses at the pay-per-view, she could probably still slide in the top 10.
Yeah, I see that. It's always very interesting because you got to do double duty, the go home and the pay-per-view. And it's no surprise. Once again, Motor City are back to being number one. Lucha, I'm sure you're happy about this. But Motor City Machine Guns are back at their number one spot. You know, Alex Shelley did hit Josh Alexander at the end of the show, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with the Motor City Machine Guns up into the after Bound for Glory, especially if Alex Shelley loses, Chris Sabin wins, or Chris Sabin loses and Alex Shelley retains. Lucha, I'll let you go first on this one.
This is just another scenario where Alex Shelley carried Josh Alexander to another win, which is exactly why they're one above Josh Alexander. And of course, you know, there's the whole Chris Sabin X Division champion thing also, so there's that other added bonus. But no, everything is right in the world. Motor City Machine Guns are number one because they've run Impact Wrestling.
Imagine they were also tag team champions too. Oh my god,
dude! We would have to retire them from the power rankings. It's like basically who's 2 through 11, because number one is already the Motor City Machine Gun. So who's 2 through 11? That would force us to do that in the power ranking.
Yeah. But luckily we haven't gotten to that point. Burt, what do you think?
I think that, yeah, not only, and okay, I hope I wasn't making it. Didn't Shelley get hit first on accident?
He did. Accident.
Okay. I'm just saying, Motor City Machine Guns dominance will continue. I see them being number one next week, most likely, and then most likely number one the week after that, and then most likely the week after that. Because I see a double champ. I see Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley retaining, but I see both of them retaining. So
unless they tie with Trinity again, like that one time,
that could happen.
Imagine post Bound for Glory, we got a 3-way tie between Machine Guns, Trinity, and whoever wins the tag title.
Damn, I could see that. All right, well, that wraps up the discussion on the top 10. Anybody have any final comments before we move on to the next segment?
No. Oh, well, I would say it's interesting to see, though, that I think it's going to be interesting to see if I'm wrong in terms of can somebody knock out the Motor City Machine Guns, just because at this point it just seems inevitable that they are number one.
Trinity stalked them off the number one spot a few times, and then she tied with them, too.
But more often than not, it seems like the Machine Guns have that number one spot on lock.
Because they do what you're supposed to do: defend this house.
Mm-hmm.
Every time, that's all they do is defend this house. As far as next week, I'm gonna keep an eyes on Mickey James, because it's like Josh has got his momentum train going heavily towards Bound for Glory, you know, and Mickey's just out here looking fine. So I'm gonna keep my eye on Mickey and see how she creeps up the top 10 going into Bound for Glory.
Uh-huh.
So now to move on to our next segment, which I like to call "Which Match Has the Biggest Implication on the Power Rankings Next Week?" I know it's a long title. I need to shorten it, but
I swear you added 2 words this week.
Next is gonna be 7. No, just kidding. All right, Burt, what are the matches for next week?
We have the winner gets the number 20 spot, loser gets the number 1 spot in the Bound for Glory Call Your Shot Gauntlet. It's Eric Young versus Jake something versus Champagne Singh versus Jordan Grace versus Dirty Dango. And then we have a best of 3 falls match with Eddie Edwards and Kazarian. And then remember how I just said before that the Machine Guns will probably be number 1 every week? This next match, I think, has the most number 1 implications. It's the tag team championship match with the Rascals versus Swan and Callahan. If the Rascals win, obviously that's also going to be the main event, I would think, unless they do the Call Your Shot Gauntlet main event. But I think the Rascals, if they win and retain their belts, will be at number 1. There's a good chance. But the winner of the Call Your Shot Gauntlet, which I could definitely see being Jake something, could easily be top 5 if he wins.
A win for Jake something would for sure be monumental. And then also not even just Jake something, Jordan Grace as well. She was, right outside the 10, just knocking on the door. So maybe, if she gets the win, that could do, some good for her. But I'm not so sold that the Rascals beating All Night Swan would warrant a number 1 spot, even if it was the main. Because looking up and down here, I do see quite a few tag teams, men's tag teams in the top 10. Where's All Night Swan at? Where have they been? When's the last time they've been in this top 10? They have like next to no momentum pretty much. So them getting a win over them is almost the equivalent of how Moose got that win over Bhupinder Gujjar. I said it. And I love Sami Callihan and Rich Swann, but
you have to remember that the Machine Gun, it's not like the Machine Guns get number 1 votes across the board. So it depends on how much presence they have on the show. You know what I mean? Them being champions usually gets them by default. I think on average I see them top 5 every week. But if the Rascals get that big win, you know what I mean? I just think a lot more people are going to have them closer to the top than the Machine Guns just for this week, for that purpose alone. I mean, for that reason alone.
But then the bigger obstacle would be the Rascals having to basically jump ABC, Trinity, and Josh, and the Guns. And pinning on, like you said, pinning on their presence, I don't think what they do would be more than Trinity. Like, say Trinity and Mickey act like, something happens between them. Say we get a surprise match with Trinity and Mickey versus somebody, and they win. And the Rascals also win. Would you put the Rascals over Trinity?
Well, in terms of the Mickie James thing, I definitely see them doing that one thing where Mickey and Trinity each get to pick the other's opponent going into Bound for Glory.
But pick your poison?
Or whatever they call it. Yeah, I definitely see that. But again, like in terms of next week, I see a possibility where it could be Rascals 1, Machine Guns 2, Trinity 3. And whoever wins the number 1, and then whoever gets pinned in the Call Your Shot type match.
I think that Jake something winning would probably have implications because he did tie, and he did make number 8. But the Rascals are our tag team champions, and I know All Night Draw doesn't have any that much momentum, and they're probably going to lose based on what we know. Happened.
And yeah, the match. Just real quick, the multi-person matches. The winner gets the number 20 spot, and the loser gets the number 1 spot in the Call Your Shot Gauntlet match at Bound for Glory. So yeah, I definitely see. Just because I actually read that wrong, because I was thinking more. That was the Call Your Shot match. So I do think since it's that I say the person gets the winner, I definitely could see someone like Dango getting the number one spot. You know what I mean? Just because he's a heel. I don't think that the person who wins this match necessarily is going to win the call your shot match. You know what I mean? So I just want to say that.
But there, like you said, there is a part of me that doesn't think Jake Simpson's gonna win because they feel like Dirty Dango might steal it from him. His name is he does have the word dirty in his name, so
that's what I'm saying. Just because this is for the number one spot, I definitely could see a heel winning this match. And even though Dango hates professional wrestling, you know what I mean, he has to win. You know what I mean, he wouldn't mind winning this match,
right? All right, Lucha, any other? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm actually I was digging because I could have swore I saw that Tasha Steelz actually has another match next week. That might actually be my sleeper for match with the biggest power rankings implications. We got Tasha Steelz taking on Courtney Rush next week, and that could be just another win that Deanna and Tasha stockpiling as far as Tasha putting in work to put the tag on the map. We'll need to see some Deanna putting in some business too, but we know what Deanna's about, really, so we don't have to worry about that. We don't have to question that for a second, So they might fuck around and hop into the top 5. You know what I'm saying? Which will be a crazy look. Another Knockouts Championship challenger with more momentum than Mickey.
All right. Does anybody have any more comments?
No, I'm good.
Okay. So with that being said, thank you guys all so much for watching, and as always, for the continuing support. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell so you get notified whenever TNAIW goes live or they release new content such as Lucha. Explain what kind of content we're talking about here.
Such as the long-awaited return of LOL TNA Season 3, LOL 3NA. The boys are back in the treehouse. Me, G, and Johnny Mac. Make sure y'all check that out. Y'all catch reruns of this. You know what I'm saying? You just want to see what the landscape of Impact was looking like in November 2022. Go fire up this show, see how it looks, see what we thought about it and all that. You can go catch G with reaction, his little quick shots where he runs through everything's going on, or you catch G on the main show, The Big Show.
Well, it's the big show, the big bad show tonight. We haven't done that in a while.
I know, I had to bring it back. He hits those after every event. We'll be on after Bound for Glory, so make sure y'all are locked in on that on Twitch. Make sure y'all go check out all of Craig's fire ass talking bloody nonsense with Nixon. Check out the TBN chats with all the cats that they got. They got a whole laundry list of them. Go and watch them all because you never know who might end up showing up on the UK tour. So it'd be cool to kind of like already be there with that. Just check out all our other nonsense. G's got crazy shit he's working on that he's putting over. Y'all go support that. Go support all of us. Just go support Impact Wrestling. If there's anybody out there that does Impact Wrestling like type content on here, go support them to get the whole community and universe together. So what I'm saying, we can just band together and be a fan base and start chanting TNA.
Lucha pops for those TNA chants, that's why.
Dude, I'm telling you, the vibes are so good with TNA chants. I'm telling y'all, it's such good vibes.
You're funny. Well, I believe you. With that being said, we'll see you guys next week. Bye.